Game face?
Yep.
I think I got my game face. Is my makeup on? Oh my goodness. Oh my God, we're live. All right, guys, we're live with the Metal Lab. It is Monday, and it's your dose of Heroclix on Monday because the weekend's over, and it sucks that the weekend is over. I have joining me our usual friend Michael, back from a stay away, and we have a special guest this week. We have Patrick Iboko, former world champion, twice over in the same year, and DragonCon champion. This year, hoping to repeat his ROC Worlds from last year, I hope. And as well, guys, don't forget that we are brought to you in part by hcrealms.com. Check out their shop at realmsgaming.com and use the coupon code MARY to get yourself 10% off of your purchase. As well, just check out all the cool stuff they have for Heroclix. And if you want to support us directly as well, check us out at patreon.com/madewithclicks. We've been getting quite a bit of support from our patrons lately, and they've been doing a fantastic job of keeping us busy on our patron hangout. All it takes you is a minimum of $1 to join in on that once a month, and it'll be the first Friday of every month. So, that said, a lot of news as far as the ROC is concerned this week, and I'm happy to have Patrick on with us because he's a big member of the board. So, without further ado, I know I've made my opinion mentioned on it, so I'm going to just get rid of my face, bring up the screen, and share with everybody that hasn't been watching or paying attention to it. The ROC has made some changes to their 2016 schedule. Not so much a schedule as it is the way they run tournaments. The first thing that they mentioned is that the Felix Faust ban is continued, which I believe we talked about a while back. There's still issues with regards to Rocket Raccoon on that. But on the same note, they also mentioned that they're getting rid of the anti-orange rule that they had in there. So originally, when you played in an ROC run tournament, orange rules on maps were not a thing. They were just kind of ignored, and any orange terrain on a map would become instant clear terrain. They've now rescinded that rule, and all maps are legal again. And Grid Reality maps, of course, the ones that ROC gives out for the prizes, are legal. And let's take a second to talk about this topic because, Patrick, you are one of the decision makers on this. So, yes. As far as that decision goes, was there a lot of contention on it, or?
Not really, because the main issue with the maps were the improved movement stuff.
Right.
But since and also with the interaction with the orange battery, but since WizKids basically changed that orange battery can't override the map rules, that made it less of a problem. But also, I also believe some maps like rotated out, like the Pacific Ocean is out, and things like that. So, I mean, I guess there's still the Justice League water map, but yeah, basically when they changed the rules with the orange battery, improved movement, it was like, oh, just lift it.
All right, cool. Now, Mike, do you have anything major as far as an opinion is concerned on this one?
I'm kind of glad that Felix Faust is still banned. I know that he took a big hit recently with the errata, but he's still really broken. I've actually faced him a couple times since then, and it just takes fun out of the game. So I'm glad that they kept that. It's nice to have some more complexity via the map choice as well. I know that now that that's been lifted, there's a couple maps that I'm looking at right now to use that I normally wouldn't even bother with just because they're useless without their orange text.
Yeah.
And now, I know myself, I think I've been one of the noisiest about this rule for a while, be it on the show, on the forums, on the web, regardless. I've always kind of... I understood why the rule existed in the first place. There were some maps that were able to be abused, and then, of course, when the orange battery came along, that became a bit of an issue as well. But for the most part, the maps themselves, the way I saw it, and I failed to, once again, turn off my notifications. I'm a terrible human being.
You are. You're an awful person.
All right. Remind me to yell at Jay because he told me earlier he wasn't going to be on. Now he wants to be on.
Okay.
Oh boy, I'm going to scold him the second he gets on and settled. So
it's the fun part of the evening.
Yeah, I've been very noisy about this, and I've made my point clear. But like, as far as maps that are abusive or really kind of lucky, like Krakoa was, I'm pretty sure the final nail in the coffin for it for a while. And it's since the trend started away from that kind of map and just, if there's an orange rule, it's just so that they can make space for the moon. All right. Anyway, now that I've gone at that, I'm going to get rid of my face again because I'm tired of seeing it too. Boom. All right. So the next thing is the biggest note, which was the change to the no tactics format becoming now the limited format, where this is the biggest one that drew my attention, and they are adding some other alternate formats, which we'll get into in a second as well. But the 300 Modern Limited takes a no tactics format, gets rid of that whole no tactics blanket, and changes it to no resources, no figures larger than a peanut base, and no possession, which was already part of it. Added in no constructs, no ID cards, no relics. And from there, everything else is legal. Theme teams, ATAs, word bubbles, and bystanders are allowed. Now, Patrick, since I have you here, and I got to ask this question, it says no relics. It doesn't say anything about special objects. Will I be allowed to bring in my Hulkbuster parts with this?
Yep.
Right.
That's basically what it means, because they've been making a lot of special objects as of late. Obviously, there's pin particles, there's the treadmill, there's the Hulkbuster parts. So you usually don't get to use any of those because you're going to play resources and stuff. So why not give that a shot? The other thing was, like I mentioned earlier, was bystanders. So you can actually play Phantom X. And the last thing was the theme team was kind of like I guess that was the thing that we had discussed a lot about, because that was one of the cool things that you could do in like the no tactics before was before I used to say no tactics except theme team and ATAs. So now you can actually build theme teams with ATAs, and there's a lot more synergies between teams, and that would actually bring a lot more diversity as well.
Right. And Mike, your thoughts on this as a whole?
I think it's a lot more flexible than purely no tactics. I mean, on one side, when we were playing no tactics, it brought in actually a lot of new people because it's a reduced game. It was actually easier for people to learn at that point. But it also kind of, I guess, made it more of a hazard to play for more experienced players who wanted some of that complexity. So I think this is a nice kind of merge of the two. I like the idea of using pin particles. I like the idea of building with theme. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've been building ever since.
Yeah. The theme heads are really team heads are really going to be excited because, they can actually play something that's going to be viable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the things I brought up in the patron hangout last weekend is theme kind of works in two directions. In one way, a theme team kind of turns you and says you're limited only to types of figures that might not have X number of options, but at the same time, we got to give you a bonus for limiting yourself. Now, granted, that rule doesn't exist when it comes to theme teams like Avengers, but that's kind of one of the things I noticed about theme teams, and there's always been my discussion. But like, theme teams aren't broken; they're just you're limiting yourself to a certain number of choices in order to do a thing. Now, granted, I don't foresee a lot of people not using themes in a world where you're not allowed to possess and where you're not allowed to resource. But there are some combinations of figures that are just good and don't need that whole advantage. So, and Jay kind of joining us a little late. I think we had a miscommunication earlier because I thought he said he wasn't coming today.
Then I said I was, and then here I am.
And then now he is. Jay, we're talking about the new limited format. So what are your thoughts on it?
I like it. I think it combines the best of no tactics with dealing with some issues of what tactics does allow, and then some vagueness in whether or not a new thing that came out is tactics or not. So I feel like it has the best of both formats in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I'm going to just throw in my last little word that I'm irked but don't care about the loss of constructs. My argument on one side is only a certain number of characters are allowed to use it. On the other side, it doesn't come with their cost, and some of the effects are really good, like walls and the free smoke cloud. And both of those, like barrier and smoke cloud, I say, are abilities that are just really, really good, especially if you can get them as a free action. So I'm over it, is what I'm saying. Now we do have these alternate formats, and I didn't read in great detail. Now, Patrick, the alternate formats, are they still going to follow all the same prizing and scoring rules of the ROC?
Yeah, it's basically an experiment to see, which formats could possibly make it in as a permanent thing or not. Because I know a lot of people have been asking for 400, and also people have been asking to play older pieces as well as non-Marvel and DC pieces. So the ROC Age was created. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but the ROC of Ages format, like from last year or 2 years ago, was actually, before it got canceled, was basically everything that had a card, regardless of universe. So that's what the ROC Age is, and the Silver Age. If you look, we start at Oreo base, I believe, or ROC Age is Oreo base, and then Silver Age, I think, is everything with a card.
Yep. Yeah, because ROC Age is everything Oreo. Silver Age, because it starts at Superman to present.
Yeah.
All carded figures from DC Marvel only is the Silver Age, and then you have the special event listed, which is not sanctioned. It's just kind of ROC pricing is my guess on that one.
Yeah, so you can still buy the kit, and then you could do your thing, but it won't be listed as like a Super Q or regional or something.
Okay. Cool. Now, I think I might run a couple winner maps with these formats if I can talk my store into it. Now, Jay, Mike, would you be making your ways to these events? Let's start with Mike.
Sorry, could you repeat the question? You guys kind of cut out for a second there. I had a problem with my headset.
The 400-point formats.
Yeah.
Would you be making your way to these events? Do they scare you? Do they interest you?
Heroclix in general interests me. None of this is going to be a deterrent. I don't have to go, I don't know, it's pretty clear, yes. I'll be going to all of it. It all sounds interesting. I've been collecting some semi-golden stuff for a while now anyway, just because I came in so late anyway, to fill up my collection, and it'd be a joy to play any of these formats. I've been primarily building for 300 modern limited though lately.
Okay. Jay?
I don't know if your question was supposed to mean literally location, or if you just meant, am I playing events?
If a local event or an event that you can attend happens to be running one of the 400-point formats, will you attend it?
I mean, I'm a bit upset that there's no epics, because that's kind of like what a lot of Lord of the Rings and whatnot figures do.
Can you guys hear me?
But I would still go to an event like that.
Yeah, I tried.
What?
I wanted the epic actions in too, but
because like some of them that's like all they do.
No.
But it's like you're still getting a lot of the golden characters and all the other stuff, so that's fun. But yeah, I would like to go to some events.
All right. Excellent. So then we move into the Swiss. Now this one is a weird one because I locally haven't heard this issue. We've been content with the format that has been given to us as far as the Swiss and the rules of it. Where did this ruling come from? I just kind of want to know the history of it. Basically, the idea is that the ROC is now going from this is the number of Swiss rounds you run to run a minimum of this number of Swiss rounds. What's the idea behind that? How many stores or venues really thought this was an issue? Patrick, you still there?
Yeah, you guys, I cut out. I guess I cut out for a little bit.
Okay.
What was that?
Yeah, my question was regards to the Swiss play rule as far as setting a minimum versus it becoming, this is the ROC standard. Mm-hmm. Is this something that a lot of venues have filed a grievance with, or because I don't know locally we haven't had this issue.
No, it's more it's to be honest, it's really me because I want more rounds.
Right.
Because I travel a lot and I want to play at least 4 rounds or 5 rounds or 6. That's just because coming from a competitive gaming background from card game stuff, I'm used to 10-round days. Yep. So playing 4 rounds and cut to something,
So I think we might be having some internet issues.
which are they always go until there's a 1 undefeated, but sometimes it doesn't happen in Heroclix. Also, because Heroclix is probably a more taxing game than card games, because it is. I think it's a lot harder. Card games can end in like 5 minutes. It can also happen in Heroclix, but not as of late. So I said, why don't we just make it a minimum number of rounds, and then they can cater to the venue. Because I know for us, people would like to play 5 rounds, but if you look at the current structure, we would need to have like 60-something people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but for us to go to 1 undefeated, if say we have 50, we need to go at least 5, maybe 6 rounds. That's basically, it's just a tweak.
Coming from competitive gaming myself as well, I did enjoy Magic when you did have 5, 6 rounds in a Grand Prix or whatever, and I guess they were 10Ks or the prize number back then. But I mean, in Magic the Gathering, everything's a 2 out of 3 round, and that's 20 games, and that's awesome because I traveled to go play in this, and even if I don't get the money, I got a lot of Magic in. Heroclix, if I travel, I get 3 rounds, and yeah, I kind of see where people are coming from and where you're coming from on that one. But Mike, what about yourself? I know you're a little less on the gaming background, so what do you think of the idea of playing more than 3 rounds?
Well, mainly a video game background, I guess. But I mean, if you want to take it to my experience, I'm used to raiding for 8 or 10 hours at a time. So, that can be pretty intensive. I do find, like, when I played in provincials, that was my longest. With I think a total of 7 rounds for me before I won, and that was very taxing. I was exhausted, but that was once again 4 Swiss and then cuts, right?
Yeah.
So I look forward to the challenge. I mean, it's a muscle like any other. You get better and you get more endurance the more you play, right? So.
All right, Jay, your thoughts?
Options are good. Letting people decide what they want for their own community or whatever is better than just having it much more strict, where you can still do the minimum number of rounds, but just making things more open to the environment that the game's going on in. So,
yep,
that's
exactly.
good.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is rankings. That's ROC business. So, and I'm nowhere in high enough of the rankings to give a crap. That's your problem, Patrick.
I don't even know what's going on there either. I just sure whatever.
But that said, this one Amber is really excited about, and this is the judge program, where you guys are actually going to be setting up an ROC judge certification process, I guess, to kind of test and make sure that people who are judging events of ROC caliber, I guess I'm hoping this is in the higher quality or higher level caliber, are good enough to be doing the job.
Experience doing that, right?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be experienced. You can come in with no experience and know the rules, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's always the challenge, right? Is making sure the staff of any given venue is knowledgeable to where they're making the correct rulings, and they're prepared so that they can. I always make my judges bring the player's guide. They have their tablet ready. They have the pack, and everything's just right there. And then they consult with each other, and then they always have the WizKids event, the forums up for the most recent rulings, because you don't know if something was shadow edited or not. So that's been in discussion for over a year, but it's just the logistics part of how do you certify, who's gonna make it, who's gonna what questions do you ask, what's the criteria,
Right.
I personally know that some of the critiques of the ROC from non-members or non-participants has been about judging. There hasn't been a process or anything like that. And I like the idea that this is addressing directly that. So now they're going to have a process where, they hand out these tests, test the rules. Do you know the rules well enough? I'm sure there'll be a couple, like the old judge test back in the day had some really curveball questions that if you didn't really know the rules, will get you off guard. Like outwit and poison back in the day has always kind of been a thing. Outwit in the beginning of the turn before you can poison. That's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, one of the things that to note though is because any venue can run a super qualifier, we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know how who knows the rules or whatnot. Trying to fill in the space there.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to have some kind of governing body for that
Exactly.
piece of it. Yeah. I think in Terry Turman, right? He's going to be doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's good. I know a couple people here in Toronto will be really excited to actually qualify. Having that little bit of extra for judges is always nice too, because it can be a fairly boring job at times. So really
And
knowing
very
your stuff and knowing
taxing.
when to actively judge versus more passively judge, I think it's good.
There's actually a note in the judging about that where a judge is walking the floor, sees a problem, stops it then, but for the most part it's passive judging and active judging towards the finals. Jay, any input as far as the judging process or program?
It is extremely frustrating when you know the rules right, but then the judge rules completely wrong.
Amen.
Like, I've had experiences where just the judges have said the most ridiculous things. And it's just like, you're the judge and I can't say anything, but that is the most wrong thing I've ever heard. Like, that would suck to have to get a loss that way, and I've had that. I got to deal with that, so that sucks.
Haven't you ever challenged a judge before, though? I mean, not to directly
Well, the rule is that
contradict you.
what the judge says, so you're...
Of course, what the judge says goes, but if you can prove it, generally people are cool enough to, like, even at nationals, I remember pulling things up on my phone and going, like, look, here, check this out. This is how they're ruling it right now.
Yeah.
And they're usually fine.
If I know for sure, if I've seen it on the WES, or I know for a fact that it's on the WES, I will immediately turn to the judge and say, it's on the WES, because I'm technically not supposed to bring out my phone or my tablet at the table, but like, it's on the WES, and if they know how to navigate it...
Yeah. The particular thing I'm thinking of was just, like, standard rules before the WS was even a thing, and, like... Yeah. I'm looking forward to being able to be one of those judges, because that's fun.
Okay. Now, Patrick, you might understand the story behind this a lot better, but the question of dice comes out a lot when far as ROC rules and the ROC itself. What's up with that?
I mean, there's really, to me, I think there's only one guy that really complains about the dice, and I think it's because he had a bad run of rolls against, I think he had a bad run of rolls against Howard or something. So he just figured that these are unbalanced, so we shouldn't be using these dice. But then, we need to have something that's uniform all throughout, so there aren't some gimmicky things going on like the one guy at Worlds like 2 years ago who had a six-sided die. Yeah, where he didn't have a 1, 2, or 3 on his six-sided die.
Yeah, the guy that would roll a thing and then put it between his legs or something.
Yep, because he had a third die for his Super Sense whatever rolls, and it would always come up a 5 or 6.
Mine does that anyway.
Yeah, I remember Brian Rupp told me that story when I had him on the show. That was one of the funnier ones I ever remember being told. So I mean, yeah, I get that dice can be a problem, and some people will go out of their way to bring finicky dice. And heck, even Daniel Jones got accused of weighted dice in his World Championship final, but he got handed those dice by the judges, right? My understanding, and he still has those dice to this day because he really liked the fact that he won Worlds that year, and he's spun them for me on camera and all kinds of fun stuff to prove that he didn't pull shenanigans. But that's the thing. When somebody's dice are hot, they're hot. These are probabilities, right? There's a probability of success on every attempt. So. Unless I'm rolling, in which case probability of success goes down to nothing a lot of time. Especially when it should be happening. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. But one of the other reasons we have you here, Patrick, is at your store, Majestix, you actually ran the what? Just is that me?
Yeah, it's you.
Where is this sound even coming from? Oh. You know what? You let ad block go down for HC Realm for 5 minutes and you accidentally click something. Patrick, you just had a super qualifier.
You and your dick
last
pills.
one before October. And I've heard a lot of exciting news from the background about it. But give us detail, because Jay is really excited to talk about his team that made the top 8.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We had Yeah, it was kind of last minute because we didn't know when we should run our super cube because we ran a regional and I usually don't run to this, that close. But we figured, well, let's make it the last week, hopefully before the ROC Cup, so people can really take a look to see what the latest tech is for the format. And we have 39 players. Considering I really didn't advertise for this, and it's still a good showing for us. And Kyle Rayner won. Kyle Rayner, and now going to be seen everywhere. Nighthawk Prime. He's just been seen a lot, but Nighthawk Prime was he was prevalent a lot at our event.
Right. Alright. Yeah, because actually I saw the breakdown that you put down on our HC Realms, and I believe you said there was 3 Nighthawk Primes in the top 16 alone, or was that 3 Nighthawk Primes in the whole tournament?
The breakdown was just the top 16, but there were plenty more.
Okay.
They're
so
everywhere.
It wasn't definitely a guaranteed trip to the top, but it was definitely an annoyance, and everybody knows how good it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's Jason's turn. I was so pleased to see that team come in first because that is actually the team I've been practicing for a very long time. Yeah. It's very similar to the one that I ran at provincials as well. And with the time restraints I've had lately, it seems to be. You're back on, Jason. We can hear you again. Yeah. Seems to be probably one of either the team that I'll run or something very, very similar to what I'll run.
Yeah, it's very
October. Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So now the other tale is a Cinderella tale in the background of the top 8. Aaron Cantu was running a team, and he had a little bit of a parrot on his shoulder this time, as he was Easton Brock's parrot on a couple ROCs back. Jay, you're the parrot on his shoulder this week. And you've been really excited to talk about it. So bring us through your team idea that you and Aaron collaborated on while I bring it up and put it on the screen.
Well, actually, the version that he ran was a lot different, a bit different than what I had made, but obviously it did good. So I don't really care. He can do whatever he wants as long as he did what he did. Guess I'll wait until you actually pull it up so I can go.
I got it right here, and it is now front and center.
Okay. So he had come to me with a couple different ideas, one of which was Dr. Fate Indigo Battery, which is obviously awesome, because Dr. Fate is like the best thing ever. And then I was just trying to run with it and see what kind of different stuff you could do with it to maximize what he does. So So I figured a similar awesomeness due to Dr. Fate shutting down stuff in a radius. He had also specifically said no Mr. Freeze, so that was out. Not that I would really like that anyways, because just his range on his stuff is a bit too small and it also shuts down yourself, so I figured no. So I thought about Banshee, because just between Banshee's trait shutting down pretty much every defense, and then Dr. Fate shutting down every special power. I mean, there is the aspect that this team doesn't really shut down the special defenses that are really annoying, like Gluttony and whatever, but I figured that those are kind of on the downturn just because Nick Fury exists, although he's on the team anyways. So I figured between Dr. Fate and Banshee, you're pretty much shutting everything down. And then on my version of the team, I put the level 7 ID card alternating for one of Nick Fury or Peggy Carter Prime, because shutting down shape change and just whatever other powers are annoying you. And then on my version of the team, I had Banshee assign Proselyte, potentially dealing out 6 to 7 damage in a single attack, depending on how stuff goes, just between all the modifiers, and then the Phalanx drone gets enhancement, Perplex from Proselyte, his own trait dealing extra damage and whatever, so that's 6-7 damage, ignoring everything. But he ended up switching it for Ion on Dr. Fate, which I can see why, because it is awesome. And then he switched out the level 1 card, which I had, for the Paranormal Investigator, who also shuts down Shape Change, as that was the main thing that this team didn't ignore by itself, and then switched it for Nova, and then that worked out pretty well for him, so it was pretty good. His only losses ended up being to the guy that won the event, so I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. All right. Now, one of the things that was brought up about the first place team, that was Kelby Brooks' team, which is the Kyle Rayner with an Ophidian. I'm just going to jump out of there. With a wall attached to him, Nighthawk Prime, and of course Orange Battery with an orange wall, orange decoy, orange spotlight on there. One of the things about this team is that it's able to wall up hard, and it's able to do it after making actions. Having 2 walls on the team, one pre-equipped on Kyle, one brought in on Nighthawk Prime, just allows you to find a nice enclosed space and not let somebody through. Are we going to see Bill come back? What do you guys think? Mike, we'll start with you. Do you think Bill's coming back because of this?
No.
No?
Maybe. Probably somebody's going to do it. I mean, like, it's not really a question. It's just, it's going to happen. It may happen a little bit. It may happen a little bit more. But I don't think it's going to be everywhere.
Right. Patrick, what do you think?
At ours, if you look at the top 16, Chris Probanik played Bill with Nick Fury. It was specifically to hang walls because there was a lot of walls in our warm-up tournaments. A lot of batteries. So played Bill, and he went 5-1. He went 4-1 in the Swiss, so it worked out pretty good. But I actually think you'll see probably more of those invader guys, probably as a main guy or even a ID call-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a couple of them you can bring in.
Yeah, I think like US Agent's one of them. I think he's a shield too, and then you could call him and he can just walk through the. And he's only 80 points, so he doesn't have to be your main guy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's an ID card also separately. The inspiration, it shuts down Barrier and Smoke Cloud. So for the next turn, it doesn't even happen at all if you're using it as an ID.
Absolutely, it does come in. And now this was the second place team was also another story of somebody using a figure I've wanted to be using for a little while, and that was Pierre McDermott's team. His team consisted of the Con Loki with a Butcher, a Stealth Suit Iron Man with Black Hand, which is not something I had considered, and a figure I'd almost actually forgotten about.
Yeah.
Along with an Orange Battery, Orange Wall, Orange Spotlight, with a sideline of some Iron Mans to look into the past with, or to kind of bail out the Iron Man if the roll comes up. Now, this team can't be seen, and I've been nicknaming it John Cena, because not only is it not able to be seen via like stealth, etc. It's not that. It's that it stops lines of sight from being drawn, which has become a very, very effective means of dealing with something like Pulse Wave. In this not yet having a blue Superman blue environment. So let's. What do you think of this team, Mike?
I think the team is good. I don't know that figure all that well, and I haven't pulled him up or anything, the Stealth Suit Iron Man piece of it. But Loki with Butcher is really good. And, I mean, you use an Orange Battery. Just use it. It's just awesome. So flexible, probably the best battery in my humble opinion. 6 Ancestral Spirits Iron Man figures. See, I don't know that part of it. I can't speak to that part of it very well, just because of my own experience. But so I'll pass on this one, really.
Jay, I mean, it's your opinion. Then we get Patrick's because he was there to watch it happen.
Yeah, I think meta players don't know about the Ancestral Spirit trait is because in the chronological time of whatever, Iron Pharaoh's the first one, so he can't revert to anything. But
this is just International Bad Internet Day, right? It's not just me.
All the rest of the ones can revert to one for some cool stuff. That's a really awesome team. It's like seems like Midnight Suns 2.0, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and Jay, I'm just guessing you were talking. You spent a little bit more of that. Your internet kind of dropped on us, but I'm guessing at length you spent a little bit of time on the Ancestral Spirit ability, which was to bring out some of the other Iron Man. If something bad should happen to Iron Man. Now, Patrick, do you think we're going to see more of this, having seen this team in action?
I think so. Pierre is one of my guys. He's been coming to the store for years, and he's slowly been like improving, and just he's a beast now. And he came up to me and just said, he asked me one day, what do you think of this? And he showed me the Loki figure, and I read, I just assumed the Connellys were not that good because we don't really see them that much, but I looked at it, I read it, and he said, well, who's playing mystical? And no one could think of like a mystical main piece, because there's no more Ghost Rider and Brother Voodoo and stuff like that. So we're like, wow, there's none other than Spiral, but she has been off the radar right now. So he said, all right, yeah, try it. So he tried it with Nick Necro, but it didn't work. So then I suggested, why not that Iron Man and just play Orange Battery, so you have plasticity. So if they try to base you, you break away, sidestep, move out of the way, and then they have to shoot you again, or they have to get it. They have to get close again. So he tried that, and he won like our warm-up tournament. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna play it, and it is a war of attrition. Let me tell you, because they do get to him. The thing is that I saw him like no less than 2 times. I saw him get the Ancestral Spirit off, and then they don't die. He just turns into another Iron Man. And he wins on time because he killed their little guy, and none of his guys died. So he had like the lowest VPs out of everybody because they couldn't get to him.
Right.
So I think it's a player for sure, because Loki is really hard to shoot right now. Unless people are playing Kyles or Supermans or Centurion. But other than that, I don't see anything really getting even a good shot at him.
Did Yondu drop off the face of the earth?
I don't know. I mean, there were some Yondus. I did see it, but I think he's too soft. To be honest, I mean, like I've just in our testing, Kyle Rayner just annihilates him.
Yeah, I found that was actually the last matchup provincials for me. I know I keep mentioning the same event, but
that happens. Sometimes
yeah, it was me.
You will have to win something else.
Yeah, one day, eventually. Yeah, it was just I just ate him. It really wasn't much of a contest when they were one-on-one.
Yeah. Don't feel bad about constantly mentioning provincials. I think I mentioned my police team like 7 times during the Patron Hangout because it covers a lot of what I do as far as team building and answers a lot of questions that I have as far as my experience is based, which is really weird because the team hasn't brought me a win per se, but it's brought me some progress.
So what you're saying is that mine's more valid than yours. Just kidding, man.
You want to face off sometime?
Let's go. Let's square out. Let's throw down.
Put your money where your mouth is.
My back again.
You keep ducking the matchup with me like this, and I'm going to start to get some ideas here, buddy.
Patreon needs to support this endeavor.
What's that? Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll take your provincial winning team, my top 8 provincial team, since we ducked each other the whole time, and we'll put on a Patreon goal.
That's a great Patreon goal.
We will videotape the match.
Perfect. You should do that.
I think that Patrick is saying he's going to pay for it, and then
he's going to pay for it.
I will. If I can see this, I will.
Nice.
I might even live. You know what? I might even live stream it. I'm not sure yet, but more likely just gonna tape it, and I'll even throw commentary on it with you after the match. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put it as a Patreon goal right now.
You do it, man. You bring it up.
You gotta put the teams. You gotta put your teams.
Yeah, well, we know. Yeah, he knows the teams, I think.
So people know.
For sure.
All right, yeah, I'll get that done. But in the meantime, I'm going to start up another portion of the conversation while I do all that work. And that is going to be the first not from the live stream preview of Hermes. He comes in with this new Divine Aura trait, which we're going to see in our other preview this week. He can't be targeted by outwit or probability control from opposing characters unless the targeting character has a higher point value or has the deity keyword. He's got this Cadia Snake, which brings out 2 of these snake tokens, which have support, precision strike, and super senses. And he can take a power action and bring 2 more of them out into play. They cost 17 points, so they will give up points if they die. He's got everything else you see is colored on the dial. Lacks Indomitable, has flight, 140 points. Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
By the power of medicine! It's expensive, it's fun. At first glance, I mean, he's got. I do like probability top dial. It's something that I could possibly use, but he's only got a 10 attack, so without a good crit behind him, he's going to be, I don't know, a thumbs down, I guess, for 140 points. But I haven't taken too close of a look at him yet.
All right, Jay, what are your thoughts?
Good and sealed, and then he's fun. Other than that, big no.
Okay.
Makes me sad to say because Greek mythology is awesome.
Greek mythology is awesome.
Right. Patrick, what are your thoughts?
It looks pretty good, except for like what Michael was saying, 10 attack on top click, but it does have prob. But one of the things I like though is I like top dial invincible because there's a lot of penetrating poison going on, and that he stops that. And he's got a fairly deep dial. He's got a good trait, that Divine Aura, and of course making pogs. Also, with the new limited format, you could play this guy before in the no taxes. You wouldn't be able to play him because he has. Or I mean, I guess you could play him, but you don't get the pogs.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of points you're giving away there. If these guys die.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, they are tiny, which means anybody can be carrying them. So, if you can put them in a position to be protected, they can actually be very effective as carry-along healers. Though, like everybody's saying, straight out of the gates at 140 points with what he's bringing, it's a little iffy. And of course, I'm always a little irked when a deity itself, doesn't have Indomitable. It's a small thing as far as thematics are concerned, and somebody's got to complain about that little thing here and there. But for the most part, I can see myself, if I'm short a really big attacker in sealed, probably using this guy. Though it comes down to how many more deities are we going to see in this set, which brings us to the next preview, which I don't have queued up because I'm amateur night today, and that is Hades. And I, for one, welcome the Lord King Joffrey to the table. He comes in at a whopping 235 points with a Majestix team ability, Indomitable, no flight, regular attack, improved targeting, ignores hindering, 10 range, and 3 traits because he's got no special abilities on the dial, which seems to be something common with these gods so far. His first trait is the Divine Aura one, which is, again, similar to what Hermes had. Can't be targeted by outwit or probability control unless the targeting character... by opposing outwit or probability control, I gotta make sure I'm clear on that one. Unless the targeting character has the deity keyword or has more points, and at 235 points, let's see how that happens. He's got this Doom's Doorway swings both ways. When a non-bystander character is KO'd, place a bystander token adjacent to Hades as described on this card. If that character was 100 points or less, the placed bystander is a suffering soul. Otherwise, it's a heroic soul. And then he's got this Defy Me at Your Peril. When an opposing character, special power revealed that stops its dial from turning. Sorry, it's not a very good resolution on the photo here. Its controller must choose either deal 1 unavoidable damage to that character or modify Hades' combat values by +1 for the rest of the game. Sodom Yad is never going to be seen against this guy, ever. Jay, why don't you take it away on the Lord King Joffrey?
Little disappointed not seeing quintessence of a god of this level, although I am comforted by the fact that the team or people that are the quintessence, so he should have it. But as far as this guy goes, I don't see him being a huge part of the meta, especially considering that like ROC Limited is probably going to see less Kyles without constructs being a thing. So I don't really see him making a splash in the meta. But sealed, he's a monster. Although we haven't really seen stop clicks yet. And for fun, he's fun.
All right, so Mike, what are your thoughts?
I feel the same way as Jay, which is rare. I mean, I love Mystics, so that makes me happy. But top dial prob, fantastic. Once again, sealed, monstrous, just gonna be crazy. I like the fact that he has candles burning on his head. That's just like a side note. It's just weird. It's like Joffrey and what's his name, who got the gold port on his head combined.
Oh.
But
Viserys or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The Viserys, yeah. And I love Pogs, so yay Pogs, cool. All right.
Patrick, what do you think of?
That looks pretty good so far. These two deities. There's prob, and they make Pogs. I wonder if that's like a thing for them. It's obviously it's a really hefty point value. I think he does have movement attack, but he's gonna be really hard to deal with because he's got steel energy with high attacks and damage, like almost his whole dial.
10 range.
Looks pretty good. 10 range too. That's another thing. I think he also ignores ignores hindering.
Yep. Yeah, for line of fire, so its stealth isn't getting by him.
Yeah, he just plants himself in the middle of the map and shoots everybody.
Yeah.
Mystics.
With any like he's the one doing the killing, but you still have in sealed you still have 65 points to work with. It's half the common.
I think he's pretty solid.
For sealed, yeah, he's going to be great. For constructed, I can see him being in more of my fun games. Maybe that 400-point format has a home for him though, because it leaves you another 165 points to work with. You can do a lot of damage with 100.
It's going to be exciting. That format's going to be exciting.
It is. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
I think it's something we're going to have to start considering with these, with the previews from here on, is to consider that format because the ROC is HC Realms is supporting us, and
right. Yeah. We must pander. We must pander.
And we do love the ROC. We do.
Yeah, we love the ROC for sure.
All right. So that said, this week was a little punishing. As far as what I did there. This week we decided that our monthly OP kit build was going to be the Punisher. The lowest point this month, of course. We'll start low from now on and go high because it's not so much a team built around a character as it is a team built with a character. Now I know myself and Mike we built within a limited format, and I know Patrick's team was full modern, which is acceptable as well. I think me and Mike just have limited on mine right now. Jay, if I remember correctly, your team, which I haven't yet.
It was modern.
It was modern as well.
Although not competitive.
You know what? That's okay, because a lot of people just want to know what you would do with this figure. I will let Jay take the lead, though.
Also, because I coded him for the realm, so you're welcome.
You should.
Neat.
So, Jay, how do you plan on punishing your opponent?
I just need to pull up the exact team because I can't remember because it was like
That's
many hours ago.
I'm still
Or do
working
you
on
have
putting
it?
this goal up.
I believe it was Punisher, Jason of Sparta, Nick Fury, and I feel like there was something else and I can't remember. It was Soldier theme.
Yeah, I got it right here, Jay. Just give me a second.
Yeah, thanks.
I will pull it up just for you because I respect you, ish.
Oh, thanks.
Sort of.
Sort of. All right.
Yeah. The problem with the Punisher is that he's too low. Oh yeah, Ultron Phalanx. Yeah, my big problem with this guy is that I want to play him with the ROC because that would be the most fun team ever. Just running like a maniac and just picking up all the things. But he's too few points. That didn't happen. So, full Pandora's Box, Jason Sparta, Punisher, Nick Fury, Ultron Drone, and level 7 card for yet another Nick Fury, because that's fun and not redundant at all. The main idea being just sit in the starting area, try and get as many of the sins attached as possible. Then when your opponent gets too close, carry everybody with Jason of Sparta, and then use his immunity effect so that you will not get hurt. And then move up, get Punisher to start picking up some of his things, his weapons, and shoot people. And Nick Fury shoots some people, and Jason Sparta, even with his 6 movement charge blades, can do some damage. And then Ultron just waits for the most opportune time to call in another Nick Fury and shoot people a lot. It's very violent.
Yeah.
Ultra violence.
I feel
Alright.
violated.
Mike, your turn, sir.
Okay. All right. Mine was whipped together. It is Black Talon, 2 Punishers. Oh yeah, 2 Punishers. Spiral, Justin Seifert, and Pim Particles. Modern Limited, sort of format-y thing. No theme, but still fits within that new format. It also fit. It would fit. No, it doesn't fit into the old No Tactics format because of the Pim Particles. But in this particular case, it's really about the Punishers collecting their tokens from out on the map, Black Talon helping them along with a little bit of that, but also having the option to be able to mind control Justin Seifert to move up to meet up with Spiral again and do more damage, because Justin Seifert's Sentinel in this case is Spiral, sending her forward, wrecking shit while we get the Punishers all powered up, and then they come in as a kind of duo. Pim Particles, because they're Pim Particles, and there's a lot you can do with that. It's pretty straightforward. It does what it does. Spiral, and then 2 Punishers for the win.
Yeah, it should be noted that the Punishers' weapons are you can play 2 Punishers and have one pick up 10. It's each one has their own individual unique file as is rolled on the W. Yes.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah. No, this isn't about possibly empowering one with 10 items. It's just about them going around and being able to pick them up a little bit faster.
It's nice that he doesn't remove the token when he misses, only when he hits.
Well, it's only one token, right? You're not removing all the tokens,
No, 1.
Yeah.
He's fun.
All right. So next up, Patrick. I realized as I'm starting to put your team together for the screen share that I'm not 100% sure which version of a cup thing we got here.
I know. I just wrote it. It was really quick. I was kind of caught off guard today. It was like, oh, okay, let me throw something. The Ultron drone that you see there is the Phalanx one, the one that ignores elevated.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
believe.
I don't think a single one of us. I think Jay was the only one who didn't use that one.
I did.
And then the Lockjaw is a 25-point.
Yep, that one I assumed as much because.
And then Kingpin is the Deadpool super rare.
Okay,
So
I was pretty sure that was the one. I just wanted to be sure. So I'm just putting it all together now. Although we might have talked about the entire team before I even got it up on the screen.
Yeah, I don't even know how many points this is. I think it's
like
close to it at some point.
But like,
if there's like 4 points left or something, then I could throw in a 4-point something.
Okay, we got Punisher, Black Hand, Kingpin, Lockjaw, Proselyte, Phalanx Drone.
Mm-hmm.
You're 10 points short.
10 points.
Did I get this right? Indigo, Battery, Spotlight, Crossbow, right? Yeah. We'll just assume for a catapult. How's that sound?
Okay. No, it's a Spotlight. It should be I have 10 points short, right? Even with the Spotlight crossbow.
Yep.
Yeah, because the main thing for the Spotlight crossbow is the you put one of them on Punisher and the other one on the Ultron drone, and then when you're next to Kingpin, he gives them.
Oh
everything.
my God!
Did that just click?
Yeah.
You just
I
broke
used
Jason.
that Kingpin in the past, and it was like, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it's those things that give it to him. Oh my God!
So Lockjaw carries 2 of them. He to go pick up the stuff, and you can either get running shot or pen blast with Punisher, and then he's gonna have the weapons, and with RCE or Spotlight, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Very, very cool idea. You know what? I've used this Kingpin, but only with hand ninjas so far because they have precision strike. So they kind of came with the whole deal, and I also had the hand ninja Prime Green or Hobgoblin on that team, who I think did most of the work. Although I did catch a lot of people off guard with the hand ninjas. But I'm just kind of pulling mine up right now. Punisher.
I can't wait to out Phoenix Force Tom because that can also give RCE.
Oh man. All right. So that said, let me pull up my team. Now my team pretty much looks like everything I've built since the limited format has been announced. My team is a soldier-themed team using Punisher. Obviously, this is the figure of the week. The Steve Rogers from Nick Fury, the one who shares energy shield with all his neighbors. Agent Coulson and the Ultron Phalanx drone. Of course, this is what following the new limited format. Coulson was 75 points. Is really the only reason he can be kind of interchanged with any of the hundreds of thousands of 75-point soldiers that exist in the game. He just happened to be the one that was handy and had running shot and psychic blast. Steve Rogers and Ultron don't care about elevated terrain, so we'll sit behind it while Punisher goes and collects all his weapons. Which is the idea of this is you want to kind of get a map where elevated is helping you hide the Punisher's weapon cache, and he kind of sneaks behind all the buildings and grabs it while Steve Rogers, the drone, and Coulson kind of shoot everything that comes within range. And if you can keep Rogers close enough to Punisher, of course, he's going to keep that energy shield and keep Punisher alive a little bit while, you know, still doing what Steve Rogers does, which is a ton of damage and making everybody beside him amazing. All right. Yeah, that was my idea. I've been using something similar in practice games for the limited format, using the Steve Rogers because he's just my hero now. And I've been using him with Nick Fury because, well, you know, Nick Fury's just great. He's just so good. He feels like he answers a little bit too much, and it's getting concerning when I'm going toe to toe with things like the Hulkbuster Mark II and coming out with Nick Fury on top. That said, I believe we've eaten into most of our topics for the day. Before we move on to fan questions, and guys, if you're watching live right now, throw your questions in the comments below. We will answer them later on. We will start with the Facebook questions in the meantime. But Patrick, unless there's anything else you want to add, or Mike or Jay, anything you want to talk about now?
Nope.
Mike? Nope. Jay? Anybody?
As far as Majestix goes, I was hearing a lot of talk about different awesome stuff that is counter to Nick Fury, but then again, didn't seem like there was much of him going on anyways, because I know that I heard about 3D Man being a thing people wanted to use because he ignores the shape change on Nick Fury.
That is rough, man.
I blame everybody's internet today is brutal. But I think what he's getting at before the internet cock blocked him on that was Nick Fury still there? Was all the counters to Nick Fury necessary, or were a lot of people bringing counters to Nick Fury and not ready for it?
Oh, there were still a lot of Nick Furies. But see, a problem with like I said, there's also a lot of Nighthawk Primes. So the problem with something like 3D Man is you're not going to get the bonuses with his perplexing, and same with everyone else. So if Nick Fury is being defended, you know, like a defend, and there's a Nighthawk Prime, it's almost impossible to hit him. And then, you know, the other thing too is there's a lot of random things out there too, like we talked about the Loki Iron Man team. That is a counter to Nick Fury, 100%, right? And that also gets around Phantom X. So those were the two, and you know, basically if you're not playing a charge team or any kind of hyper team to get in, or even hyper doesn't even get by because of the plasticity. But that was the main thing, was Nick Fury can't do anything really against Loki and Iron Man.
I think people were just pissed when they saw Nick Fury to begin with.
Yep.
They had to counter build everything.
Yep.
You okay?
Let me tell you a quick little story in our area.
Okay.
Ryan Roberts, who won our first Super Q, or the first official Super Q when they started doing this, he pulls a second Nighthawk Prime and was upset because he wanted to get a Nick Fury so he offered up a straight up trade with anybody anytime, anywhere. Nighthawk Prime for Nick Fury, and there were no less than 3 people there with Nick Fury that they were going to play at the event. All said no.
Really?
Next day at the tournament, hey, there's Nick Fury, Nighthawk Prime for trade for Nick Fury. Nobody, no, because they're all playing Nick Fury.
Wow.
And because they could also call him in with the level 7. So they're like, nope. That was crazy. That was a crazy story. Like, I couldn't believe it.
You know what? As somebody pointed out the other day on one of the Facebook trade groups, that Nick Fury has gone from, I think, $5 to $10 at launch to all of a sudden $45.
Yeah, he's easily at that 40. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He is the new Trinity from Trinity War, if you will.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm really falling, like, the more and more I play with the Nick Fury set, the more and more I'm falling in love with what's available as far as options and builds, and even fun, both fun and not fun.
Yeah.
Like, even fun and competitive is just everything is there for you.
I really expect to see some invaders at the ROC Cup because
I really hope so.
The walls are pretty they're really annoying.
I can imagine there being a bunch of Bucky ID cards just because between the figure himself being cheap and the ID card being so good, also shutting down shape change, which is kind of the main defense on the 2 biggest annoying things right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow, a little short on questions today, apparently, guys. So I guess we've just answered the one which I think we've all answered at great length, but we'll try to give it a go. Chris Stockhouse asks, he says, hooray for the new ROC Limited format allowing theme teams and ATAs. I also appreciate the chance to use Golden Age figures again for the first time in the case of Lord of the Rings, Yu-Gi-Oh!, etc. in those alternate formats. Which of the new formats are you most excited to play in? Jay?
I would have wanted to say the 400 one, but then they just said no epics, and then I was sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a trade-off though, because you're getting a lot of golden stuff, and like it's not all. There's just all the normal golden Marvel DC figures that are awesome, and then there's just a lot of artless. I want to say 400, just because I figure nobody else is though, because golden stuff is fun.
Mm. All right, what do you think, Mike?
400 modern limited.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to use the Batman of Zurinar, Mike?
I am not.
Are you gonna win? You're gonna win. I know that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna win a major event.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, especially when you put it like that. I don't know. I'm traveling to Atlanta from Canada, so that'll be fun. Gonna be bunking with this guy right here on the Sunday night, so that'll be fun.
He's pointing at Patrick, not me.
I am. I'm pointing at Patrick, not you, but Patrick down there.
You.
But what's that?
Said not you, but you.
But you. Hello. I think that the 400 modern limited will be really fun. Just having that little extra wiggle room is always good. I mean, I build lots of teams. Like I built one the other day that I don't know. I'd forgotten about points somewhere, and I overbuilt, and then I played successfully with it, not in an actual tournament, but in a home game, and it was just nasty. And it turned out I was like 50 points over. I was like really embarrassed, but it gave me ideas.
This
right?
is why we don't let Mike build alone.
No, it's because I can't do math. That's it. Even
myself, I am really hyped about the modern limited, the 300-point version. But as far as the 400-point teams are considered, I just have one thing to say with regards to the ROC Age. Amber, get me my Gypsy Danger. I can't wait to try some Pacific Rim and some fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I've wanted to actually give those guys a go, but oftentimes the Golden Age builds are on days I can't go or too small at my local venue.
Right.
So like on the days I can't go, it's 600. Like great, I could have played two of the Jaegers on that one. Nope. All right, I can't go because I've got family responsibilities. So
Well, we've been playing a lot of those at
Yeah.
Wizards Cache lately, so come on down sometime.
I might have to. I know I'm coming this week to give the Modern Limited a try.
Yeah, 300 Modern Limited. It'll be good.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Patrick, even though you're part of the creation process, what do you want to play in, sir?
Indie. Anything with indie. I've been pushing that for so long. We have a lot of indie people, and they're excited. You're gonna see how good Bard the Bowman is, and how good the jars are from Yu-Gi-Oh, as well as the ritual summoning mechanic from Yu-Gi-Oh. That could be pretty busted. It's really fun. So if you guys haven't played that,
it's the bulked up thing, right? That Jason was talking about, where you just keep growing your team.
I was just gonna say, me and Amber played in the Battle of the Millennium locally.
Ritual summoning. Ritual summoning.
That's my thoughts of ritual summoning. That's it.
It's all like when we do our indie events, the ritual summoning is really good.
Yeah, I think month 1 we had a 400-point event, and each game I averaged about 600 to 800 points. So that gives you an idea of how ritual summoning and all the extra stuff you can get in a Yu-Gi-Oh game can go. It can get nasty, and yeah, I've seen some of this stuff in action. That said, I wouldn't also mind, seeing if, depending on which way the Ninja Turtles go.
Yep.
Oh yeah, true. That's gonna be awesome.
If the Ninja Turtles aren't modern, the ROC is offering a way for me to run them. And does it fall in the release schedule? It's 400 modern limited at that point because they're supposed to be out in spring. Darn.
Way to go, ROC. Way to go.
I thought it was in January. It's not.
Yeah, it got pushed back to spring according to Amber.
Oh, there goes that.
The thing is, though, like, Street Fighter was modern, so it's not impossible that it'll be modern, but it's just highly unlikely.
It's weird because, yes, they're comics, but I don't know how strict Marvel and DC is right now on this. Look,
Kick-Ass was, comic, owned by Marvel, but then not. Yeah, Raiden Mars is going to win everything, though, in that format.
Raiden Mars is good. That's another
Oh
one.
my god, I love this guy. He's so good.
Raiden Mars.
Yeah. I had a question since we seem to have time.
Yeah.
What's everybody what one figure is everybody here most excited for? Confirmed or not confirmed or whatever, or what you expect to see as far as Superman Wonder Woman goes?
I think
I got to start with this. I know what I'm least excited to find out. Somebody, this may or may not be confirmed, but somebody has informed me that Anti-Monitor is the last missing Colossal in the Super Boosters, and I told them they spelled Chemo wrong. But that said, with the Metal Men coming in World's Finest, I might see my Chemo there, but he's not Colossal, which makes me upset. And he better be allowed to be carried by a vehicle and do an 8-square pulse wave that blows up blood.
He could be just he could be a Colossal still.
Yeah. Anyway,
so that didn't answer my question though.
I was getting there. I'm on the tangent day. Okay, you give me a break here. My question is Superman Blue.
Your answer. Mine would be Red Sun Lex Luthor.
Interesting choice.
Patrick, what are you looking for in Superman Wonder Woman?
Unless they totally screwed us over. I was told that Sebastian Faust will be out, which is our team figure, in this set. So if it is, and that's why I was hoping for it during that group hug if it was going to be out there. But if it is, Nighthawk Prime isn't a thing anymore.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That nice silver bullet.
Nighthawk Prime.
My main problem with that is, do you really want to release another Faust figure right now?
No, but it's not. It is the F word.
We didn't even
an
know
opportune time, Patrick.
we didn't even know Felix Faust was coming out. So
of course, but it's just everybody's still so mad about that figure.
Being cheeky. Yeah.
Oh, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like Felix. It's just a regular figure, but it just so happened he's gonna nerf Nighthawk Prime.
Interesting.
Well, in that case, then. Can I change my answer now? I forgot that somebody mentioned that figure was going to be there.
Well, I mean, that's what they told. I mean, it's coming out soon. I mean, hopefully during the unboxing that they do, if they do one, it's there. We'll see.
As far as I go, I don't even know, because
What would you do?
sometimes they just make human characters so overpowered, like everything in Deadpool, that it's like, is Jimmy Olsen going to be the best figure in the set?
That'd be really kind of amazing.
Didn't I hear there's supposed to be some kind of reporter mechanic going on in this set too?
Yeah, like a reporter special power that a bunch of dudes have.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we got Superman Blue with the... Didn't Superman Blue have the reporter keyword? I don't remember now.
Nope. I don't
No,
think
okay.
any of the Supermans shown so
No,
far
but
had
he
it.
had Kryptonian, which brought into the question of his ability to be teamed up very well with the Brainiac ship.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to Red Sun Batman, except they already made the best possible dial for that, which was the marquee Batman from Streets of Gotham, who just blew stuff up. So, but otherwise, it'll be interesting to see funny hat ear Batman.
What about Red Sun Bizarro?
I don't know, because they were like,
Red
at one
Sun
point, like,
Bizarro.
I love making custom dials, and at one point I sat down and like, read Red Sun to see like what I would want to do, but like, a lot of those figures don't have much to go on. Like, there's no material there to like try and make something for Batman, so you pretty much have to make something up.
I just want to point out
They
that
did that with
Iron Sparrow busted the meta. He was on the cover of a comic.
Yeah.
the Iron. Yeah, exactly. Right? Iron Man.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be much.
No.
All these meta figures are meta, right? It's all made up. None of the story really matters when you're building that.
No.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
man. Red Sun Bizarro is ugly.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he lives for 5 minutes. It's
And
fantastic.
somebody put him in a side by side with Brandon Routh, and I got to move away from that because they look oddly similar.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was rumored that he was one of the chases, which I've heard alternate things of 5 or 6. So it's like there's one missing slot because they do seem to like Lex Luthor recently. So I would imagine he would be made.
What's the figure count for the core set?
I don't even know.
I don't know. We don't have the solicits anymore unless
I
according
have
to the
one.
Realms evidence thread, there's 66 main set figures. Although that also, but then all primes on top of that, so 70 figures, I guess. And 6 chases. So Trinity, Luthor, Bizarro, leaving room for one, maybe a Green Lantern or something fun.
I'm gonna have to. You know what? Everybody has told me that this series is great, and I've liked the idea / aesthetic of it. And I'm in Google Images right now, but I don't want to get too deep because Internet Rule 34 it does exist. But from what I'm seeing, I kind of want to just read it based on the aesthetic that I'm being shown.
Read what?
Red Sun Superman. I haven't read it yet.
Oh yeah, I will never
it's
compliment
great.
Mark
Yeah,
Millar
it's
other
really
than
fun.
this book. And I guess Old Man Logan.
good book.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Is this Mark Miller before he started hating everything, or?
I don't know, but I hate him and I like this book, so yeah, speaks volumes.
I'm just trying to get this. I'm just trying to get this solicit for you guys real quick.
Yeah, because he stopped doing those unless you're a store. Sucks.
Yeah.
Mike is a store.
Pre-releases
I am a
are in
store.
Look at him.
pre-releases are in 2 weeks
Look at
now.
his cube. We're just the vamping is on top of the vamping right now because we're.
Yeah.
I guess we're extending the length of the show unnecessarily.
Pre-releases start the 20th, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's soon.
Yeah. Indeed.
If they don't make my Zeus, because like Quintessence is a keyword in this game. Highfather has it, and there's
Alright,
a bunch of
I've got it here.
dudes. You better
So
have
it is 16 common, 16 uncommon, 16 rare, 12 super rare, 6 chase,
it.
4
Okay.
prime, and 6
Jeez.
colossal.
It's a lot of chases.
Yeah, that's the
Big.
stuff.
So that implies, because like when chases are lower numbered, that means that they're one per case, but then the higher they go, it's 1 per brick. I don't remember the last time there were 6 chases,
30.
because I know wax was 1 per case. So it's gonna be 1 per brick.
60. So this is 60 plus 6, so 66 plus 4
70
is
figures,
70.
like I said, yeah.
70 plus 6, it's 76 actually. Because of the
76.
colossals.
What?
Because of the colossals.
Oh, I was just
Including the
okay,
colossal.
but 70
Yeah.
standard figures.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
So-
Pays to be the store occasionally.
I can't wait to see the monkey in person. I'm not gonna lie. I got a thing for seeing the monkey. And I'm not gonna lie, if I do pull one at one of the super boosters on our show, the monkey will get spanked.
Oh God!
Yes, I will.
Oh man!
You always do that kind of thing. This is not unexpected.
I
wonder if
I would
gotta
be
have to my
disappointed.
unboxings. You know that.
Yeah.
I got to rival Scott Porter somehow, right? The guy's too good. He's too beautiful.
He's too pretty. Stop it, Scott. You ruined it for the rest of us.
And he's a good player too.
Yeah.
That makes it worse. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
Is it?
like, well, watching him on the group hug, the live stream, I was just like, this guy, just by the way he counts
He's good.
squares and does things, is miles above these guys.
Yeah,
This
because
is
I've
going to be
played
a
against him a
trouncing.
couple times, and he's really good.
Oh, good.
Well, he's been playing since the beginning too. So
Yes,
I wonder
exactly.
if he'll be at Rocktober as well.
He just like competitive stuff, but when he plays at like the weekly events, he basically beats. He could beat basically anybody if he really wanted to try.
yeah, and you know what? Like I said, when I was watching the show, this is a guy who knows how to play. If he really, I'm sure if he put his mind to it, he could compete and throw down and
I
get a
don't
couple
know.
wins.
It's
make
yet
it
to
day
be
two.
seen. He has to face the self-effacing Tom Kerr.
I would love to, if I could catch Tom Kerr and Scott Porter in the same game on camera. I don't think I'd ever release it. I'd just keep it to myself.
Scott
I
Porter
have this
versus
game.
Brian from Family Guy, basically.
I wish I could have had him on today, but he had unfortunately had a thing he had to do at York University tonight.
Yeah.
Is he going to be going to Rocktober?
No.
Aww.
It's just me and Patrick Chow.
I think this year no, but I'm pretty sure the Metal Lab can work it out to make our way to Rocktober next year.
Hope so.
And
Whoa.
I think,
What about
I think
our
I'm-
region?
Wait, where are
We're
you
re-
getting these piles of money from?
Speaking of piles of money that we need, let's talk about our Patreon. Which we'll talk about that later. But Patrick, it sounded like you were going to say something in there.
Yeah, you're coming to our regional next year.
You keep telling me I am, so I must be.
Yeah.
Hey,
Same with
Jason.
you, Mike.
Hey, Jason.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hold on, open that up for me so I can get a good copy of it. I just need to put my
No. Dude, honestly, it was the most painless procedure. I paid the regular fee, I didn't pay the rush, and I got it in a week. It was amazing.
Yeah. I honestly, I just need to, believe it or not, I am so poor I can't get that passport right now.
Yeah.
I thought you already did.
What's that?
Yeah.
I thought you already got it.
No.
Oh.
Every time I'm about to, and I say I'm going out today, I get a phone call, and something is broken that's important to own, and I have to fix it. And
Well,
It costs
I'll be your guarantor, because anybody with a passport can be your guarantor now.
At least
Okay.
now they offer the 10-year option, so...
all right, we're on off-air conversation right now. We should really be.
Everybody loves this stuff, man. Don't squelch it. This is the reality. This is the reality of our reality show.
This is a real world right now. It's just right here.
Shit just got
Guys,
real, man.
bother me about the
gonna
passport.
break it down.
The real drama. El Diablo and all his nothing.
No, nothing.
I needed to derail everything
All right,
because
I have to go play Destiny now.
that said, once again, we are brought to you in part by HC Realms. Check out their shop at realmsgaming.com. Use the coupon code MARRIED to get yourself 10% off of your purchase. As well, if you want to support us directly, we do have a Patreon. And thanks to Patrick and a little bit of stealthy work, we've added a new goal. If we can hit the $150 per month mark, we are going to have the money where your mouth is matches. We talk a lot of smack on this show, so stop talking smack and bring it to the table, and we'll film it. We will get in person and film it, and of course, we will make it real for you guys. And I will make sure that we maximize the cursing, swearing, and tears that occur during these matches. If I have to pinch nipples and smack faces.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen me play. I do yell a lot, so it's gonna be fun.
Since the team that Aaron played is basically the best team I've ever designed, doing well, I should play that versus you and your double Kyle, technically.
Sure. Totally.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, look at that. You see, we've already got 2 episodes set up. The first one, of course, being myself
Bring
and
that.
Michael. I'm going to be listing the teams on our. I'll probably list it under the milestone later tonight. Which teams we will play with first, or we'll just name the titles, and we'll give you guys a heads up if we hit that milestone. And I want to thank Patrick, of course, for giving me the idea, because I couldn't not do this the second you mentioned it.
I can't believe you actually did.
I have two little
That's awesome.
things to announce as well.
Hey, you know what? I do put my money where my mouth is.
It's true, you do, and that's really gross because other people have touched it.
Yeah.
But I have two things to announce right now. One of them being we're going to have just a win-a-map at 401 Games on the 1st of November, and that'll be the first opportunity to actually actively play in the new 300 Modern Limited format for the Assassin's Alley map. And some dice and tokens and all that good stuff that come with the win-a-maps. But also, this Wednesday, we will be playing 300 Modern Limited at the Wizard's Cache, so come on down. It's right next to the Battershoe Museum, right at St. George and Bloor, here in the illustrious Toronto.
All right. And back to the Patreon here. If you guys do decide you're going to pledge, as little as $1 gets you in on the Patron Hangout, which we filmed last Friday. If you want to watch that right now, it is on the YouTube archive. $5 or more per month gets you downloadable versions of all of our, non-live shows, as well as advanced access to the episodes ahead of everybody else. $10 or more gets you an action token, a specialized action token made by Big Billy Games. In fact, we are going to be putting in our order for the first set that we're going to be sending out to all the patrons shortly. $25 per month gets you to build mine and Amber's teams, depending on who you decide to put your name under. $50 per month gets you, and all, of course, in the higher realms, gets you all the stuff from below. So if you put in $50 per month, you do get to come on the show on a regular basis, or not a regular basis, but once per month. We can fit 2 of you per episode, and you get to be a part of the Meta Lab. And join us in our conversations and our wackiness, and possibly be the next target of a Money Where Your Mouth Is match. You know what? That's the title of the show, too, because some of the titles are a little bit off kilter. It's like, what is we going to title it? As well, last month we did hit a new goal, which is a new competitive breakdown show, where what me and Amber do is we take a team and we break down every aspect of it, from strategy down to the rules of it, and explain why these teams work and all the functionality behind it. That episode, the first episode, should be out on Thursday night for our patrons and Friday night for our fans. So that's going on. Again, new goal, Money Where Your Mouth Is match. I expect them to be a lot of fun and a lot of excitement out of us. Thank you, Patrick, again for the idea, because we need some pro wrestling going on mixed with our Heroclix.
Are we supposed to wear tights? Like
if you wear tights, it will be part of the ridicule I will put on you. In fact, I will have to bring a microscope if you do, if I understand correctly.
Oh,
well, there we go.
That's so mean.
Look at that. This is the kind of smack talk you get if you can get us to the $150 per month point. And we will film these, I promise. And we will even add our own little wrestling commentary and be exciting about it and everything.
All right.
So, Patrick, I want to thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Hey, thanks.
And I'm going to go solo because the internet sucks. I'm just going to say, remember, guys, practice makes your team better. Have a good night, everybody.
Better makes your team practice.